The phone buzzed at 2:37 in the morning. My daughter Skylar's voice came through, shaking and scared. "Mom, I'm at the police station. Darius hit me and then told them I attacked him. They believe him, not me." My chest tightened. I tried to stay calm, but then she whispered, "There's an officer here who keeps staring at me, like he knows me." I didn't think. I jumped out of bed, threw on a coat, and ran to my car. The streets were dark and empty, but I barely noticed the red lights as I drove. Skylar was still on the phone, breathing unevenly, trying not to cry. "He cut himself, Mom. He told them I used a knife. There's blood on his shirt. He looks like a victim." My grip on the steering wheel turned my hands white. I'd seen this story before, too many times in courtrooms when I was a judge. The man plays the victim, the woman becomes the criminal, but never, not once, did I imagine it would be my daughter. "Which station?" I asked. "10th Street, she said. My heart stopped. That precinct. That district. I pressed harder on the gas. When I arrived, I parked right in front. The building's bright lights felt harsh against the night. Inside, the air smelled of old coffee and fear. A young officer behind the desk froze when he saw me. His face went pale. His badge read Miles. "I'm here for my daughter, Skylar Hayes," I said firmly. "You're going to tell me what's going on." He swallowed hard. "Judge Estelle?" he whispered. It had been 5 years since anyone called me that. He looked nervous. "Her husband filed the report first. He came in bleeding, said she attacked him. Captain Cole is reviewing the case. He knows Mr. Croft." Of course he did. Men like Darius always have friends who protect them. "Take me to her," I said. Miles led me down a cold hallway. My footsteps echoed against the walls that had heard too many women's cries. Then he opened a door, and I saw Skylar sitting alone, small and shaking. When she saw me, she ran into my arms and broke down. I felt her trembling, and beneath her sleeve I saw dark bruises. Old ones. My stomach turned. "How long?" I whispered. She just cried harder. "I didn't want to disappoint you. You spent your life helping women like me." "You didn't fail. He did. And the system is failing you right now, but I won't." I looked back at Miles. "Get me the report. Bring Captain Cole. And Darius Croft." When I entered the captain's office, Darius was there, pretending to be calm and hurt. "Estelle," he said smoothly, "I didn't expect you." "You hit my daughter and lied about it," I said coldly. He put on his act, sad eyes, steady voice, but I saw through it. "How long have you been planning this? Since you realized she might leave?" His mask cracked. The door burst open again. Miles returned with witnesses, neighbors who said they'd heard Skylar screaming for months. Their statements tore through Darius's lies. Even Captain Cole looked ashamed. When the paramedics arrived, they said Skylar had old and new injuries, bruises, cuts, maybe broken ribs. Darius tried to shout, but it was over. As they lifted Skylar onto the stretcher, I held her hand. "I'm coming with you," I said. She squeezed my fingers, just like when she was little and afraid of thunder. The ambulance doors closed, and I promised myself silently, this time, justice wouldn't fail her. Months, maybe even a year. The doctor nodded, typing notes on his tablet. "This case is serious," he said quietly. "These injuries didn't happen all at once. They show long-term abuse." When we reached the emergency room, the bright lights felt harsh after the night outside. Nurses rushed Skylar into an exam room. A calm, middle-aged doctor entered, a woman with kind eyes and her gray hair tied back. "I'm Dr. Amani Jones," she said, introducing herself. Then she turned to Skylar. "I'm going to examine you carefully. Is it all right if your mother stays?" Skylar barely spoke, but nodded. Yes, I need her here. Dr. Jones began her work. Each time she discovered a new mark, her expression grew tighter. Bruises on Skylar's ribs, dark patches on her arms and back, red circles around her wrists where something had bound her, and tiny round scars, burns. Cigarette burns. When the doctor brushed them lightly, Skylar flinched. When did this happen? Dr. Jones asked, her tone gentle but professional. It happened 3 months ago. He got angry because dinner wasn't ready. He said he needed to teach me discipline. Her words pierced me like knives. Every sentence revealed how blind I'd been, how many times she smiled across the table, pretending everything was fine just to protect me from the truth. Dr. Jones quietly photographed each injury. We'll take x-rays next, she said. I also want you to speak with our social worker. Then she left us alone. The silence was heavy. Skylar finally murmured, I'm sorry, Mom. I should have told you. Don't say that, I replied softly. You have nothing to apologize for. I sat beside her bed. But why didn't you come to me sooner? Tears streamed down her cheeks. Because you spent your life saving women like men like him, and I became one of them. I was ashamed. I thought you'd see me as weak. I took her trembling hands. You didn't fail. He failed. The system failed. Maybe even I did for not noticing. But you survived, Skylar. That takes more strength than anyone can imagine. The door burst open. Jordan ran in, still in pajamas, her hair messy, her coat half on. She clutched a small black flash drive. Skylar gasped and hugged her. They both cried. I brought it, Jordan said. The recordings. Skylar gave this to me 2 months ago and told me to give it to the police if anything ever happened. I took the flash drive. It was so small, yet it felt heavy with everything my daughter had endured. Skylar's voice shook. He said if I told anyone, he'd ruin me, that no one would believe me, that I was unstable. Tonight, he lost control. He cut his arm on purpose and told me, now they'll arrest you. Jordan wiped her tears. But he didn't count on Mom. I stood. I'm going back to the station. He's not walking free. Skylar panicked. He has Randall Quinn, his lawyer, the best in the city. He'll get out. Not this time, I said firmly, kissing her forehead. You're safe now. As I left, dawn touched the sky. My phone buzzed. Miles. He's still here, he said, but the lawyer's pushing hard. Tell them to wait, I replied. I'm on my way. The city was waking up, but for me, the night's fight was far from over. Justice had only just begun. I discovered more emails between Darius and Randall Quinn from 6 months earlier. In them, Darius talked about ways to destroy Skylar's reputation if she ever caused trouble. They discussed spreading rumors about her mental health, creating fake proof that she was unfaithful, and using Darius's contacts to ruin her career. It wasn't just talk, it was a plan. Cold, deliberate, and cruel. The cybercrime team arrived soon after. They began copying everything from Darius's computer, emails, videos, documents, every single file. One of the technicians, a young woman with serious eyes, approached me. Ma'am, she said, what's on this machine could lead to several federal charges. We're talking extortion, videos, online stalking. He's not just an abuser, he's a predator. I nodded slowly. Deep down, I had always suspected it, but seeing the proof in front of me made it real. How long will you need? I asked. A few hours for the key evidence, she replied. A full analysis will take days. I stepped outside to breathe. The balcony overlooked the city, tall buildings glowing under the early morning sun. From up here, everything seemed peaceful and organized, but I knew better. Behind those windows were people living quiet tragedies like Skylar's. My phone buzzed. It was Miles. Estelle, Darius is demanding a hearing. Randall's filing a motion saying his detention is illegal. I gave a humorless smile. Tell Randall we have new evidence. Emails, recordings, and a detailed plan of abuse and blackmail. His client will be facing federal charges soon. Cole was silent for a moment, then said, he's losing control. When we told him about the search warrant, he started shouting. Randall tried to calm him, but he basically admitted everything. A bitter laugh escaped me. They always betray themselves. I said, keep that confession on record. Miles joined me outside. Everything's logged.
The hard drive is going to the lab. The documents are secured. Good, I said. Let's go back. I want to see Darius processed. When we reached the lobby, the doorman stopped us. His face was pale. Did you find anything? He whispered. I hesitated, then said quietly, enough to make sure he never hurts anyone again. He nodded, eyes full of guilt. We all knew something was wrong, but none of us acted. I'm ashamed. I placed a hand on his shoulder. You can still do the right thing. If this goes to trial, they'll need witnesses, people who saw, who heard. He straightened up. I'll testify. We all will. Back at the station, sunlight filled the corridors. I hadn't slept in over 24 hours, but I wasn't tired. I was driven. Inside, a woman in a sharp suit stood at the front desk. She recognized me immediately. Judge Hayes, she said, extending her hand. I'm Assistant District Attorney Aisha Reynolds. Captain Cole briefed me. If the evidence is as strong as he says, I'll request no bail. It's solid, I assured her, and there's more. Emails, recordings, and a detailed plan of abuse and blackmail. Aisha's eyes hardened. Perfect. We'll make sure this man never sees daylight again. For the first time in years, I felt something close to peace. Skylar would be safe, and justice, finally, was within reach. I used to think I was the only one. I thought maybe I had done something wrong, that somehow I caused his anger. But when the others spoke, I realized I wasn't alone. One after another, the women shared their stories. The details were different, but the pattern was always the same. Darius chose confident, successful women and slowly broke them down until they doubted everything about themselves. Skylar listened in silence, tears streaming down her face. When it was her turn, her voice was barely a whisper. Thank you, she said. Thank you for being brave. Because of you, I finally understand that I'm not crazy. None of this was my fault. The 5 women hugged each other tightly. They had been strangers, but now they were bound by pain, courage, and the belief that this time justice wouldn't fail them. This time, their abuser would face consequences. Aisha, the prosecutor, watched quietly from the back of the room. When the stories ended, she stepped forward. What you have is powerful, she said. 5 different women, 5 lives that tell the same story. This isn't coincidence. It's proof of a predator who planned everything. Preparation for the trial began. There were interviews, evidence checks, and long meetings. Every day brought new discoveries, more emails, more recordings, more documents showing how carefully Darius had controlled and hurt his victims. His lawyer tried to bargain for a lighter sentence, but Aisha refused. We're going to trial, she said firmly, and we will win. 2 months later, the courtroom was full. Reporters, activists, survivors of domestic violence filled the seats. Skylar sat beside me and Jordan in the front row, her hands trembling, but her eyes strong. When Darius entered in handcuffs, he looked nothing like the charming man I once met. His eyes were hollow, his face pale and tired. The arrogance was gone, only emptiness remained. Aisha presented the case clearly and calmly. She showed the evidence, recordings, medical files, expert testimonies, each one proving Darius's guilt. His defense tried to twist the truth, but his words were weak against the mountain of proof. Then Skylar took the stand. The room went silent. She stood tall, no longer a victim, but a survivor. Her voice was steady as she described the first push, the first slap, the endless apologies that followed. She said, "It got worse every time. He controlled my money, my friends, my life. I was terrified." When the defense tried to attack her character, she didn't break. "Yes," she said, "I have anxiety because living in fear will do that to you. But broken bones, burns, bruises, those aren't accidents." One by one, the other women testified. Their stories fit together like pieces of a terrible puzzle. Charm, isolation, control, violence. The jury listened with heavy hearts. Finally, Aisha stood for her closing statement. "This is not about anger," she said. "It's about control. Darius Croft used power, money, and fear to destroy women's lives. But today, her victims found their voices. Today, the truth wins." The jury returned, hours later. The room was still as the foreman spoke. Guilty. Then again, guilty. Every charge, every count. Skylar broke down in tears, but this time they were tears of freedom. We held each other as the judge declared the sentence, 25 years. Outside the courthouse, Aisha spoke to the cameras. Today, justice